High five!
Hey, what's up, guys? Nickel Breaker J2 here, male to plan, male to my knowledge in the YWC, and this here is my video on the 6 things that's missing from today's WWE. I was gonna do 5, decided to do 6. I'm just gonna go. It's not in order or anything like that. It's not like a top 10 video. It's just a list. Now we're going to get into this here, just get my thoughts on it. Then after the video's over, you know, or during the video, leave your comments, give me your thoughts or suggestions on what WWE should do, and I would really appreciate that. Now, let's go and get into this little countdown list. The first thing that I think that WWE needs to do, that they used to do back in the day, is build new stars. Build new stars. Now, in recent months, they have been doing that with Dolph Ziggler, not Drew McIntyre, but Zack Ryder, Cody Rhodes, Sheamus. They've been doing that. But in recent years, they have not really been doing that. You need to build up your new stars for the future. You need to make your stars important, because you cannot rely on Triple H, John Cena. You can't rely on Randy Orton, Big Show, you know, Kane. You have to put Kane back in a fucking mask to, you know, to give him more star appeal again. You know, because you realize that the stars that you haven't been building up, you know, you're realizing that you need to build new stars, because you got to put Kane back in the freaking mask to get a pop out of us, you know, in order to, you know, cover up the fact that you're not building up new stars. Now, in WWE's defense, Vince McMahon, he's been screwed over by so many people. He has no reason to trust these younger stars to keep them around and make them, you know, like main eventers. You know, he got screwed over by Lex Luger, left him in 1994. Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Bret the Hitman Hart, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior. You know, he got screwed by so many people, you know, in the 90s. And, you know, he's just sick and tired of it. He doesn't want to go through that crap again. You know, he even mentioned that, you know, in the storyline with John Cena and CM Punk, you know, he mentioned that, you walked out, don't walk out on me like everybody else. He really meant that shit. But WWE needs to build up new stars, because 5-10 years from now, I mean, you can't just still rely on John Cena, Randy Orton, you know, Undertaker, Triple H. You know, all those guys will be gone pretty much. You need to start building up, you know, start making your stars look credible. Like, for instance, Daniel Bryan. Spoiler alert right now. Tonight's SmackDown, which will be, yeah, tonight. You know what? Fuck it. I don't even care. Daniel Bryan, alright, he wins his title back, right, by disqualification, due to Mark Henry interfering in the match. Now, that doesn't make Daniel Bryan look very credible at all. How come you can't make it to where that Daniel Bryan beats Big Show by, I don't know, maybe Mark Henry, maybe the referee's not knocked down, Mark Henry's in the ring, and, you know, he hits, he tries to hit Daniel Bryan ducks, and his not Mark Henry, the Big Show in the head with the steel chair. Then Daniel Bryan pins him, instead of having a fucking disqualification. I'm sorry if I spoiled for you guys, but I can care less right now. You know, it's not really building up new stars that way if you just keep having these guys win by disqualification. So, WWE, build up your new stars. Number 2, lack of using vignettes and promo spots. Now, the vignette is a long-lost start in professional wrestling. Now, in recent years, you know, you had the Del Rio, you had the Karma, you had the Crime Time. But back in the day, everybody used to debut, had a vignette. $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, Mr. Perfect. You know, you had, you know, Ravishing Rick Rude, The Warlord, Demolition, The Road Warriors, you know, IRS, well, the Undertaker never had a vignette, but he just debuted, but he had vignettes after. You know, Razor Ramon, you know, all those guys have vignettes, because it anticipates the character that you're gonna see, and you really want to anticipate for the character, you know. So when he finally comes, you're gonna be like, man, he's a monster. He's a technical specialist. Oh, I hate him. Oh, I really like this guy. This is a great character. This is a bad character. That's what a vignette is supposed to do, is to build up and anticipate for the actual debut of the wrestler. Now it's kind of similar. When Chris Jericho made his return Monday, wasn't really a vignette, but it was a promo. Everybody anticipated the return of Chris Jericho. Now we were guessing, who it was. Was it going to be Undertaker? Was it going to be Brock Lesnar? Was it going to be Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon? Those questions still have to be answered, but we're still anticipating for it, because of those promos. Now, speaking of promos, lack of the promo spot slash TV slash talk shows like the Piper's Pit, like the Barbershop, like the Heartbreak Hotel, the Snake Pit. You have all those spots where instead of having these backstage promos say, like CM Punk will go talk to John Laurinaitis, they usually have that stuff out in front of the crowd, which will make more sense, which, engages the fans more, and it will also help the product more because of the fact that the fans are so into it. It comes off on TV that the fans are really into it. And also, as well, it kind of goes with the gimmick of, on the actual host. Like Brother Love, he had like a church setup. The Barbershop was, a barbershop. The Snake Pit was, a snake pit. So some of the most memorable classic wrestling moments were on vignettes, or not vignettes, but on these promo spots, like Marjane getting thrown through the plate glass. That was on the Barbershop. Jake the Snake Roberts attacking the Undertaker was on the funeral parlor. Piper's Pit, Hulk Hogan getting his crucifix ripped off by Andre the Giant. That was the Piper's Pit. So those promo spots are very important. Nowadays, we had the Cutting Edge. We had what was Chris Jericho? I forgot the name of Chris Jericho's the highlight reel. You had the MVP Lounge, whatever the hell it was called. So we had those, but those never really helped. The only one I will say that would be memorable, where it was when Shawn Michaels got thrown through the Geratron 3000, whatever it was called. But other than that, it wasn't, none of these today's promo spots was really too good. But we need those back. We need those back with great, with great promo spots and vignettes. We really need those back, because that will really help out the characters and developmental storylines. Number 3, lack of building pay-per-views. Yeah, everybody knows this. WWE nowadays, they build up pay-per-views 2 weeks before the pay-per-view. Back in the Attitude Era, I know I use the Attitude Era a lot, but back in the Attitude Era, let's say, for instance, King of the Ring 1999, right there on the pay-per-view, Jim Ross will announce, well, we just got word that Stone Cold Steve Austin will be defending his World Wrestling Federation title against Mankind at SummerSlam. They will do shit like that, and when you're going into Raw the following night, you're anticipating the build for the pay-per-view. They will usually have, Stone Cold and Mankind either have a promo against each other, not necessarily a match. In most cases, back in the day, they will never touch each other. So when the pay-per-view comes, you really anticipate, when the match actually happens, you really anticipate for those guys finally get their hands on each other. But nowadays, you're wasting pay-per-view matches on TV. That's why pay-per-views are not getting good buy rates. You're having John Cena. Okay, for example, let's say it's John Cena and Randy Orton. Let's say John Cena's WWE champion, Randy Orton's the World Heavyweight champion, versus Mark Henry and CM Punk. Let's just say CM Punk's a heel. You're basically getting the match right there, and somebody's gonna either job out or you're gonna have a bullshit no disqualification. Why not have, okay, this would make more sense. Why not have CM Punk versus Randy Orton, 2 different brands, going up against each other, then have John Cena versus Mark Henry, 2 different brands going up against each other. Now, as long as you end the match either like in a disqualification or a count out to where that nobody gets hurt, then do it that way. Also, as well, back in the day, I'm actually gonna get into that. I'm actually gonna get into that right now. That actually brings me to number 4. Number 4, lame storylines / no storylines at all. Lame storylines / no storylines at all. Now, we had some good storylines. You know, like, not really a storyline, just the heel turn R-Truth last year, which was pretty entertaining. Storyline with CM Punk, John Cena, great. The beginning segment of CM Punk and Triple H was pretty good. Kevin Nash and Triple H, the story was good, even though in the ring it wasn't too great. But, well, actually their match at TLC was actually surprising. But, nevertheless, we need more storylines to care about. Now, you know, how come, and this kind of ties into number 3 as well. How come you can't have good storylines going to a pay-per-view? You always have a storyline for the 2 world titles. There's some form of storyline. Sometimes the Intercontinental, sometimes the US. The women's title, not necessarily the tag team titles, no. How come, for example, the tag team titles? How come you can have, you know, Epico and Primo cut a promo against Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston? Let's say they have a non-title match on Raw. Instead of showing Epico and Primo walk out to the ring, when they show, there goes Epico and Primo getting ready for their match tonight against Kofi Kingston and Evan Bourne, Air Boom, and then they show like the little picture of you know, Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston versus Epico and Primo, which takes about 1.5 to 2 minutes anyway. How come you can't use that time to have a promo? Have a promo, say, you know, pretty much, you've been ducking us, Air Boom. We want your tag team titles, and we're not going to stop until we get those titles. Tonight is a non-title match. We're going to prove to you that we're better than you, and we will beat you for those tag team titles at Money in the Bank, whatever the pay-per-view may be. There you go. That, you know, he puts over the tag team titles. You know, he shows interest on why he wants the tag team titles, and you just go from there. You just go from there. That's all you gotta do, you know, for a storyline. You just put over whatever title is, or put over the storyline, do that, then just go from there. They do not do that. They do not. They did that with the U.S. title with Zack Ryder and Dolph Ziggler. They did that. They don't do that for the Intercontinental. Well, they kind of did that as a late for Booker T and Cody Rhodes, but in most cases they do not do that. Give us storylines that we care about. And everybody says PG. It's not fucking PG. Let's get over that. It's been proven that we can have great storylines without the TV-14 rating. We don't need blood. We don't need chair shots. We don't need ladders. We don't need the good God Almighty, the Hell in a Cell matches to prove a point to say, oh, this is great. WWE is great again. We don't need that. We just need good storylines, good wrestling, and at the end of the day, have some type of resolution, some type of resolve, you know, in the storyline to where that we go back and say, damn, that was a good storyline, or damn, that was a, you know, good series of matches. That's what we need, you know. Not this, you know. To me, don't get me wrong, I love blood, I love the Hell in a Cell matches, I love all that stuff, but that's not what defines professional wrestling, in my opinion. You know, that's not what defines professional wrestling, in my opinion. So we need better storylines, WWE. Also, which brings me to number 5, is the prestige of the titles. I'm sorry, the prestige of the titles are shit. They're completely shit. Completely shit. Did you know, from 1979 all the way to 1987, we had a total of 10 Intercontinental Champions. Okay, so it went from Pat Patterson to Ken Patera all the way on down to the Macho Man Randy Savage, which was the 10th Intercontinental Champion of all time. Now, within the past 3 years, we had 10 Intercontinental Champions. I know that sounds like a lot, but back in the day now, I know it's different. I know it's different. I know a lot of people say, you know, it's different times, and I agree with you. But you can have a title holder for the Intercontinental title for at least 8 or 9 months. You can have a holder of the U.S. title for at least 8 or 9 months. You can have a holder for the WWE or World Champion for 10, 11 months, maybe even a year. You know what I mean? You can have that. Don't be afraid, WWE, to have that. You really don't got no competition right now. I mean, you don't have no competition. You know, TNA is not competition. Ring of Honor is not competition. So you should be worried about, oh, well, you know, well, our ratings are in the tank because TNA, you know, they did better than us this week, which they never do anyway, but I'm just making an example. Don't be scared to have these titles mean something again. Do not be scared, because the WWE title doesn't mean a damn thing to me. The World title doesn't mean a damn thing to me. The most prestigious title in WWE right now, to me, is the U.S. title. And I am a mark for Dolph Ziggler, but look what he did with the title from the time that he won it, from the time that he lost it. You know, when he lost it, he finally, the storyline itself was a pretty good storyline for Zack Ryder to win it. Now Zack Ryder hasn't really been doing much with it as of late, but again, that will bring me to number 6 in a second, which is lack of patience from wrestling fans. Pretty much, you know, we need more prestigious titles in WWE, and you know, right now that's just not the case. You're not putting over your titles, even in promo segments, like I was talking about earlier with you know, Epico and Primo. You need to put over the titles in interviews. You need to say something like this, like, for example, this title means more than life to me. I will kill my wife over this title. I will sell my kid for this title. This is everything that I've worked for, and this is everything that I have. I mean, you can do something like that, but they don't even do that shit nowadays. So, lack of prestigious titles is number 5, and the last one, number 6 here, it's a long video, I know, but whatever. Is lack of patience from us wrestling fans, and you know, just a lack of patience overall, and we ask for too much, you know. Now this brings me to the point of ECW. Now you're asking why I'm mentioning ECW. ECW raised the bar so fucking high to where that, you know, when the Attitude Era ended, we're asking for too much. That's why everybody's saying bring back the Attitude Era, bring back Blood, bring back, you know, all these great matches, you know, like the Inferno match. Bring back those type of matches. But we ask for too much, you know. The ECW raised the bar so high. Back in the day, an arm drag meant a lot. A simple top rope elbow meant a lot. Nowadays, you got guys doing that as their, you know, not even a signature move, as a regular move. You know, big high spots like that should only be used for your finishers. Like, okay, for example, Ring of Honor. They do a lot of moves in there that should be only used for their finishers. Like, for instance, like when I watch Ring of Honor, because I admit I don't watch Ring of Honor that much, but when I do, it's pretty good. I like Ring of Honor, but I just don't have time, I guess, to watch Ring of Honor or whatnot, even though I do have it here. But like for instance, I saw somebody do like a freaking brainbuster off the top rope, and they kick out of that, you know. And it's like, come on, man, it's a fucking brainbuster off the top rope, you know. It's like a believability, and you know, I guess that comes from us for asking too much. We want that type of stuff, but that goes along with the believability of wrestling. Now, that's for fans asking too much. Now, for the lack of patience, we have a lot of lack of patience. For example, a great example, Chris Jericho. When he made his return, everybody wants him to talk. Everybody wants questions, saying this is one of the worst things ever in WWE. Guys, be patient, alright? Why would you want Chris Jericho to come out and talk and possibly cut a promo against CM Punk? Why would you want that all in one show, all in 1 week? He can spread it out for 3 weeks. He can, okay, if he were to do that this Monday, he will basically waste 3 or 4 weeks of television all in one promo. No, we don't want, no, you don't want that, alright? What you want is a slow simmer, like you're cooking something, like a slow simmer, a slow build into something. When it finally peaks, you're already ready for the pay-per-view. Instead of, you come out, you talk about everything you're going to talk about. You're going to bash CM Punk, John Cena, whatever. You're going to bash whoever you're going to bash. Then you go from there. Then after that, what do you do now? Do you just beat them up? You know, we're too impatient. We're too impatient. Like for example, I really hate when people say this. For example, let's say Randy Orton versus Christian, which I thought the story sucked, but the matches were good. I mean, you can't deny that the matches were bad or anything. Everybody was saying, "Oh, we've seen this 85 million times." First of all, they didn't have enough stars on SmackDown at the time to even have another person in the world title picture at the time. That's not the case. But I mean, if WWE, they know what they're doing. They're the Machine. They're called the Machine for a reason. You know, they've been doing this for 50 years. So let it simmer, guys. Just let it simmer. Then just at the very end of the day, you know, you'll realize that, okay, that was a pretty good storyline, or that was a pretty good series of matches. Just don't sit there and complain about every little thing about wrestling, because wrestling is supposed to be fun, you know. We're not supposed to be judgmental about professional wrestling all the time, even though in this video that I am, but I need to learn not to be so judgmental about every single little thing. Now, we can judge wrestling because, you know, it's the product that we watch, and, you know, we're paying for the shit, for like pay-per-views, merchandise, or whatnot. You know, video games, you know, we pay for the shit, so we should have our input, but not every single little thing. Like, for example, when is Brodus Clay gonna debut? You know, WWE wants Brodus Clay to debut when he wants to debut, you know, even though it sucks for him, but I mean, are you gonna get behind Brodus Clay or something? You know, are you a big mark for Brodus Clay, or you just want to see him debut already? You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. But this video went long, I know, but please rate, please subscribe, please drop a comment, and I'll check you guys later. Peace out, guys.